Now I'll pass to part 2 of my presentation. We know the fuel to reach your business goals is data, and we know data integration is important. To really accelerate your business, you should be automating the data integration process and freeing up your staff away from repetitive tasks to focus on innovation and projects. In this presentation, we're going to look at the business challenges that make automation worth the investment. We'll look at the gains to be made. We'll look at 4 automation areas, and we'll illustrate those with customer implementations and success stories. In my presentation this afternoon, called Around the World with FME, I'll actually focus on outstanding Australian customer stories. So for this presentation, we'll mostly use international examples. According to a business analysis study by McKinsey Global Institute carried out in 2017, around 50% of current work activities are technically automatable by adapting currently demonstrated technologies. 6 out of 10 current occupations have more than 30% of activities that are technically automatable. Of course, business automation is not that simple. There have been many obstacles: limited resources in IT to carry out the automation, new or changing customer demands, real-time access to quality data, the difficulty of cross-team data sharing, disparate enterprise systems, manual and inefficient processes. Now, many of these challenges have been overcome, but let's look at this last group: data variety, velocity, volume, and interoperability. What software comes to mind as addressing these issues? This list shows a summary of the business growth enhancing benefits you can expect from taking advantage of automations carried out with FME. They affect many parts of the business, from cost reduction to team collaboration and operational agility and more. We're going to look at some customer examples from overseas and Australia of the business benefits gained from FME automation. Let's jump right into the first automation opportunity and take a look at operational agility, one of the points I just mentioned. When you're scaling an organization, an initiative or project, you need automation. Examples of repetitive tasks that we commonly see are requests from various stakeholders or third parties, producing monthly or weekly reports, more administrative tasks, data entry. So let's look at the Utah Department of Transportation. Back in 2019, Utah Department of Transportation came up with their e-ticketing system. Previous to this, inspectors and engineers in the field were required to manually inspect materials and manually enter and track all inspection tickets on resurfacing projects. The construction GIS team was able to build an automated workflow incorporating JSON with Survey 123, and now the DOT inspectors can easily track and view their tickets on their devices for time and organizational efficiency. Another huge benefit was that the invoicing team was able to save around 80% of the time it would normally take to manually enter these tickets into their billing systems. They've now scaled the e-ticketing system out statewide to all resurfacing projects. Let's move over to automation opportunity number 2, where we tackle improvement of customer experience and enhanced team collaboration. Here's a common scenario. Often organizations have several departments or groups split up between function type, or think of levels of government: local, regional, state, federal agencies that need to share between each other. Common requests from contractors or the public about new buildings or airports. Automation and access via open portals containing authoritative data can benefit large user groups, including the public or other third-party consumers of data. This takes the burden off the administration or GIS department, who might always have to service these requests, similar to the Burnaby case we covered, but also like Geoscience Australia, using FME Cloud for authoritative data sharing. An example of this City of Burnaby is part of the Metro Vancouver area in Canada and has become recognised worldwide for its one-call dial before you dig system. The city has the requirement to provide underground information packages within 3 days to any organisations looking to dig or develop a piece of land. Metro Vancouver has seen a large increase in property development, consequently overloading staff with tasks in preparing and compiling, therefore increasing the timeline from days to weeks to get packages delivered. For context, in 1994, the City of Burnaby received only 140 information package requests a year, which might be manageable, but still time-consuming. Fast forward to today, this has increased to 8,500 package requests annually. Now, this increase issue we just touched on, scaling out bigger volume of service requests, is something that your organisation should automate. Using the FME platform, Burnaby developed and automated GIS and asset management system workflows and reduced the time to receive information packages to just 3 minutes per request. For Burnaby, it saved 2 full-time staff and potentially more depending on the trajectory of the requests. Staff can now focus on other high-impact projects. And the return on investment on staff salaries and other benefits to the city totaled a saving of $200,000 a year. But the bigger benefit was reducing the friction between data sharing with contractors and third-party developers, people who needed the data in a timely and accessible fashion at any time without staff intervention. While Burnaby provides data download service, Hampton Roads Sanitation District uses FME to provide web-based data validation and loading services. A great example of enhancing customer experience and overall collaboration. HRSD, located in Virginia Beach, Virginia, services the Chesapeake Bay watershed and approximately 1.9 million customers. What they did was build an online data contribution service which collects pipe and pump station data from 20 cities and counties in their jurisdiction and automatically validates each contributor's submission to ensure conformity to the repository's data model. This information is used in planning to lower the environmental impact of their wastewater systems. The end product, a centralized, accurate view of the wastewater collection system, helps identify areas that need improvement. The workflow doesn't simply reject data and force the contributors to figure it out on their own, but provides what data needs to be corrected in order to be accepted into the central repository. Manual quality control could consume a vast amount of coordination time and resources, but FME's automated workflow reduces the bottleneck of sharing, validating, and centralizing data, all without involving HRSD staff. So HRSD continues to use FME in its automated fashion and keeps their database current for a fraction of the time compared with doing this manually. Again, this is very transparent and collaborative. Automation is also about giving the most critical information to the hands of decision makers in real time. Executives and customers expect to have access to the most recent and accurate data to allow for better decision making. Leverage FME to gain more valuable insights out of your data in real time. For instance, shorten time to response for emergency situations by equipping first responders with real-time information. Let's look at a local example. Powerlink Queensland owns and operates a high-voltage electricity transmission network servicing 4 million customers across eastern Queensland. Powerlink wanted to create a fully automated, data-driven emergency management system for bushfires, cyclones, flooding, thunderstorms and earthquakes. This involved consolidating infrastructure data, monitoring for severe weather events, performing impact analysis, and sending informative reports to stakeholders when information was at risk. Using FME, they built a connected series of workflows to monitor for events, such as when a meteorology website posts a weather alert, and analyze the potential risk and impact. When emergency criteria are met, FME automatically delivers reports to stakeholders in accessible formats like PDF. which contain layered maps that enable decision making. The fully automated FME-powered system runs an average of 2,500 jobs per day, monitoring for events, sending notifications, and generating mapping products. With their automated emergency readiness system in place, PowerLink's staff can make decisions based on informative data sets. Since notifications are only sent if emergency criteria are met, stakeholders can focus on critical information, reducing the time spent on emergency event handling from days to hours. For our last example, let's look at data migration, which is becoming more and more common, especially as customers move to the ArcGIS utility network. IHS Markit is an American-British services provider that uses data for business intelligence and empowers its customers to make well-informed decisions with confidence. They have 50,000 customers in over 140 countries, 80% of which are in the Fortune Global 500. They depend on data to deliver new intelligence and insight to their clients. When IHS Markit decided to move their data into a central cloud data warehouse called Snowflake, the sheer volume of data was overwhelming. They needed to migrate terabytes of data as quickly as possible without compromising quality, so their business intelligence users could access it. Having previously used Denodo, they consolidated multiple databases in preparation for the migration. The team then used FME to migrate 1.5 billion rows from Denodo into Snowflake. They chose FME Server deployed on Kubernetes for the project. The team used FME to split the data and distribute the processing across multiple engines to take advantage of parallel processing. Using FME Server's dynamic engines, HIS Markit had the ability to spin up multiple engines to enable parallel processing, and this allowed them to keep costs low by only paying for the number of processing hours used. IHS Markit completed its migration to Snowflake in only 5 hours. So now we've seen a series of examples of automation and benefits. Are you ready to future-proof your organization with business automation? We want to help you accelerate your business automation journey. You can schedule a call, discuss a proof of concept. Reach out to us at sales.australia@onespatial.com. Of course, we're here today, so reach out to us now.